Tokwe, my guy, as Chioma, my colleague at ChamsAccess, would always refer to me as, even Chika too, my former colleague at ChamsAccess, would tell me, Tokwe, my G, these are powerful and loving people. And to every man out there, doing their best to make the world a better place, I'm doing a big shout out to you, and I'm wishing you a happy International Women's Day. I love you all. On today's episode, I'll be talking about something very important, something that we all will be excited and appreciate after this. I don't want to call it a sermon anyway. So I'm talking about how we can better manage our emotions. But before I talk about that, I would like to appreciate ChamsAccess, because back in 2018, they identified the need to work on their staff's human development, and they put up an emotional intelligence workshop which lasted for 3 days, and they had post factory that is still being managed by Mr. Enahoro Okhae. He calls himself Mr. Leverage, and the session was powerful. And the interesting thing is, after the workshop, the company identified a few of us that needed a post-workshop one-on-one section with Mr. Leverage, and they paid for that section. I would say it was a life-changing one-on-one section with Mr. Enahoro Okhae. So if you are out there as a company or as an individual and you would like to train your staff on emotional intelligence, Post Factory is your go-to company. They have fantastic coaches there that can help train your staff, or even as an individual, on emotional intelligence. I'm doing a big shout out to ChamsAccess, to the entire management. You guys are the best. So dialing back to today's subject, which is about your emotions. Talk about calm down. You're talking about emotions now. Yeah, that's where exactly I'm going. That's the perception that a lot of people do have about emotions. When you want to vent your anger, you want to para, you want to feel sad, you just want to be all by yourself. People will tell you, don't do this, don't do that. Move closer. You see, emotions are data, right? We collect these data. Emotions are expected to be expended. They're like currencies, you spend them. You see, a lot of the times, people would want us to compress our emotions. And you see, on the longer run, when you compress your emotions, you don't express it, it does have a ripple effect that could affect your mental health, your state of mind. So I just want to encourage you that there will be times in your life where you want to question a whole lot of things. You want to question your existence, why you were born in Nigeria, why your parents is not Dangote or $10 or Adeleke. I won't lie, I've done that before. So there will be times like that. You want to question a whole lot of things. It's fine to do that. It's fine to think that way. Don't let anybody tell you any different. But here's what I would like to say. The Bible encouraged us in the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 26 and 27. The Bible says, in your hunger, do not sin. So where I'm trying to drive to is, in all of the process of expending your emotion, whether it's sadness, whether it's anger, do not stay too long in that position, because it is dangerous if you allow the sun to come down while you are still angry. The Bible went a step further in verse 27 of that Ephesians 4. The Bible says, do not allow the devil to have a foothold. So which simply means, when you are angry, try as much as possible not to sin. And I'll be sharing with you one of the powerful tools that Mr. Leverage, I call him Coach Enahoro anyway. One of the powerful tools he shared with us during that workshop I talked about in 2018. Emotional intelligence as model, which is distributed into. So number one is knowing yourself, the second one is choosing yourself, and the third one is giving yourself. Now, So I want to talk about understanding your emotion as a still water. We have water in our kitchen, we have water in our bathroom, and there's a way we control the flow of this water. We control the flow of this water through a tap or through a pipe valve, and would see that with this control we are able to maximize and minimize the frequency and the flow of the water. The same thing with our emotions. I know you want to flare up, you want to break the walls, you want to bring down the building, but I want to tell you that you've got control over that emotion. You've got control over that sadness. So many times, religious organizations or our churches will tell us all sort of things, that the way you should feel and the way you should not feel. This is what the Bible says. This is what the Bible does not say. There was a time in the synagogue that Jesus Christ was angry, but in the expedition of his anger, he did not sin. So I know you want to you want to say all sorts of things. The election was rigged, but try not to sin. When you are talking to people, try to be respectful. If there's somebody who does not align with you politically, just generally respond to them with smile emoji or with a sticker, and just be polite in your utterances. In the book of Proverbs 33, verse 7, the Bible talks about, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? So our emotion is a build-up of our thought process, okay? So most of the time, it is what you think that manifests into how you feel, and how you feel is a manifestation of what you do. So it all begins from what you're thinking, right? Part of the learning philosophy of the training I told you we did in 2018, they told us that nothing means anything except the meaning you give to it. No way is the way. I mean, a whole lot of fantastic learning philosophies about life, about emotional intelligence. So I'm saying this to you, that regardless of whatever anybody might say to you or do to you, nothing means anything except the meaning that you give to it. So that still comes back to you having the power to choose your emotion, and also having the power to choose how other people's emotion affect you. So if somebody tells me now that, Tokbe, you are mad, well, to that person, that is the meaning the person wants to give to. But to me, I can choose the meaning I want to give to that statement, you are mad. I can choose to give it the meaning that, Tokbe, you are wonderful, right? So nothing means anything except the meaning you give to it. And I would like to close this talk, with this charge that allow yourself to feel what you want to feel. So when I lost my mom, a lot of people would, want to advise me, encourage, sympathize with me on how I should expend my emotions in terms of, sadness. In fact, I had a friend then that, lost his mom and his dad, the time was not too far from each other, and he was like a senior man to me, in that space, and you were like, don't think too much about it, that's life and all that. So, but one thing I later realized is it's important we allow people to feel the way they want to feel. If somebody wants to cry, allow them to cry. If somebody wants to feel sad, allow them to feel sad, because it is good that we expend our emotions. We express our emotions. Emotions are supposed to be expressed, right? So what is dangerous is when you want to feel sad and you allow yourself to stay too long in that mood. That's a bad thing. If it's anger too, it is very bad that you allow yourself to stay in that anger for too long. So on this note, I would like to encourage us that while you are expending your emotion, it is important that you manage, you choose what you want to say, you choose what you want to think, you choose how you want to act. And in everything that we do, it is important that we give ourselves true empathy. Put yourself in other people's shoes. If I say this word, how will this person feel? If I was the person somebody else was saying, this word I want to say, somebody else was saying it to me, how would I react? So it is always good that we empathize. So I'm signing out now. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, comment. I want to hear from you. How have you been able to manage your emotions in the past years? What have people said to you? How have you reacted to it? So I want to see the comment section bombarded. And don't forget to share this video if you find it very useful. So like, subscribe, and comment. Signing out now. Ciao, ciao.